In a land as vast and diverse as Africa, it's no surprise that there are still many mysteries waiting to be solved. From strange creatures to unexplained phenomena, the continent has it all. In this video, we take a look at 9 of the most unsettling mysteries Africa has to offer. Did you know that there exists a lake which is so toxic that your skin will burn alive? Find out more later in this video. On number 1, we have Mzoura Stone Circle. The origins of Mzoura Stone Circle are still a mystery. Mzoura is Arabic for holy place. The location is around 15 kilometers south of Asilah's harbor, not far from Tangier. Locals believe it was the grave of a Mauritanian king dating back to around 3000 BC, but some researchers point to striking similarities between Mzoura Stone Circle and megalithic sites found in Britain, France, and Ireland, suggesting that both sites were built by a group with similar cultural beliefs. Mzoura's elliptical tumulus has a diameter of 55 meters and is encircled by 167 stone monoliths, the tallest of which is roughly 5 meters high. According to the inhabitants, there is a 7-meter-long stone beneath the surface, too. The megaliths were thought to have been hammered and polished by hand. Moreover, their arrangement creates an ellipse framework. Who was it created for and what was the intention behind? Well, it might remain a mystery forever. On number 2, we have circles of desert fairies. It's similar to crop circles in the desert, but of a far greater size. The Namibia Desert in southern Africa is home to some unusual fairy rings that have perplexed scientists for years as they stretch for 1,100 kilometers amongst lush grasslands. It consists of a succession of barren rings ranging in diameter from 2 to 15 meters. What is the significance of these circles, and why does grass grow all around them but not in the rings? Scientists are beginning to recognize that there are 2 alternative theories: plants struggling for survival and smaller plants dying away at the boundaries of a patch of grass, leaving gaps at regular intervals. Researchers think that termites harm plants on the surface as they crawl beneath and form tunnels in quest of food. They also compete for territory, which leads to one colony annihilating another. Either of these hypotheses might be valid. The Dendrolite is number 3. On the wall of a temple at Dendra, there is a massive relief depicting a strange picture. It shows a serpent and a big fireball soaring out of a lotus blossom while a pillar supports it with human arms. It's an odd image, but not only because the pillar has arms. This is the sole chamber in the temple that does not contain firelights, displaying Dendrolite. Archaeologists discovered evidence that Egyptians burned lights in every other portion of the structure, but not this one. So, how did they see anything if they didn't keep any form of light here? And why would they create such sophisticated artwork on the wall if the room was pitch black? There are various questions that need to be answered. On number 4, we have Senegambia's stone circles. The Senegambian stone circles are considered to have the highest concentration of stone circles anywhere in the world, yet academics still don't know much about them. They stretch for 200 miles along the Gambia River and have a radius of 62 miles. There are believed to be at least 1,000 stone circles and similar artifacts scattered over the region. Researchers have no idea when they were created, just that they are between 400 and 2,300 years old. Along with the stone circles, the region is strewn with masonry tombs, metal, and ceramic items. The stone circles are divided into 4 major zones with around 29,000 stones, 2,000 smaller sites, and 17,000 monuments sprinkled around them. The sculptures have blocks and pillars, whereas the stones stand alone or in rows. Can you suppose the town you're in today vanishes one day, never to be seen again? It's an odd thought, but it's one of the things that draws people to see the Getty ruins on Kenya's Indian Ocean coast. The historical site is one of numerous coastal towns found between Mogadishu and Somalia to Mozambique. When colonists found the ruins in 1920, they rapidly became a magnet for geologists, archaeologists, and historians. A fortified town, single-story stone dwellings, mosques, and even a palace may be seen among the ruins. Separate from the main ruins area were tiny earth dwellings and stone pillar burials in the open region surrounding the remains. Who could have lived here? Let us know about your thoughts in the comment section below. Moving on, we have a new species of humans. An ancient human species was discovered in a South African cave where the bones of 15 hominids were excavated. The fossils were discovered in a remote cave near Johannesburg called Mauritania. The new species was called Homo naledi and placed in the genus Homo, which includes contemporary humans. International scientists excavated more than 1,550 bones from at least 15 people, including newborns, young adults, and the elderly, in 2013 and 2014. All have a similar morphology, although the bones have yet to be dated. Just when you thought geologists had discovered every sort of stone and rock on the planet, Sierra Leone, West Africa has a lot to offer. Angelo Pettoni, a geologist and archaeologist, discovered a mystery blue stone in soil going back to 12,000 BC in 1990. The fragments were transported to laboratories in Germany, Rome, Utrecht, Geneva, and Tokyo, but no one could figure out what the appropriately called sky blue stone was. They could all agree on one thing: it was unlike anything they'd ever seen, and it wasn't even vaguely related to any rock. It had to be a fabrication. They did discover that it was composed of oxygen, sodium, calcium, carbon, and silicone, giving it a comparable composition to human-made items such as stucco or concrete. The mystery stone appears to have only originated from soil strata dating back to 12,000 BC, implying that it might be a product of an old civilization yet to be identified. Now, let's discuss what is Iomaqui 3. The discovery of ancient tools in Kenya was a game-changer for a group of experts. Sonia Harmon, an archaeologist at Stony Brook University, and her colleagues unearthed stone artifacts known as Iomaqui 3. They planned for a comprehensive excavation of the site a year later. They discovered at least 20 artifacts, including flakes and anvils, as well as another 130 on the surface. The fantastic tools looked to have been created and then dumped on site. There were no human remains or animal remains with weapon-like markings found nearby. No one knows what those tools were used for, but they are considered to be 3.3 million years old, 700,000 years older than the oldest tools ever uncovered. The last discovery of today's video is Lake Natron. Lake Natron in Tanzania is one of the most tranquil lakes in Africa, but it's also the source of some of the most eerie pictures ever taken. Images that appear to show living animals turned to stone. Lake Natron's alkaline water has a pH as high as 10.5 and is so caustic that it may burn the skin and eyes of creatures who aren't acclimated to it. The alkalinity of the water is caused by sodium carbonate and other materials that pour into the lake from neighboring hills. And deposits of sodium carbonate, which was originally utilized in Egyptian mummification, work as a magnificent sort of preservation for creatures unfortunate enough to perish in the lake's water. Contrary to popular belief, the animal did not turn to stone and die after coming into touch with the lake's water. Lake Natron's alkaline waters, in reality, sustain a healthy ecology of salt marshes, freshwater wetlands, flamingos, wetland birds, and the algae that enormous flocks of flamingos feed on. Lastly, if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, then what are you waiting for? Did you find these discoveries interesting? Let us know in the comments section below.